Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Hookah Anonymous, and you are now rocking with Mickey Truth. She live up to her name, not the fame. So make sure y'all subscribe to her channel and stay updated on what's real. Bye.
Coming from where I come from, they doubted me, but I came up. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. Coming from where I come from, they doubted me, but I came up. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. Good reporting ass Mickey. We love you, Mickey.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Mickey Truth, aka the Queen of Paperwork, and I am back with another video. As always, all information contained in this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. All information used in this video is per the Fair Use Act, and any conclusion that you draw is on you, not me. So let's get it. So listen, Truth Team. I've been seeing through the comments, a lot of people have been mentioning Rico, and not just the O-Block Rico, but that cases are being dropped because a Rico is coming for Lil Durk. Let's really let's just get to the business, okay? I don't think a lot of people understand what an indictment is, right? Or how it comes about, because to get a Rico indictment, it still includes an indictment. I went through this back when I was covering the Takeoff murder case, when everybody was saying it was an indictment or a Rico coming for the Prince family. So I'm going to bring it back around since it's coming back up. I'm about to go through the steps of it. And I said then in my earlier videos, the only people who knows that an indictment, whether it's a Rico or just an indictment altogether, are the police and informants and witnesses. Period. If somebody precedes an actual or says an indictment is coming, a Rico is coming, it's because they are what? Law enforcement. Works for the prosecution, whether it's state or federal, okay? A witness or an informant on the case. Those are the only people who knows about it before it hits. Even the person themselves don't know until it hits. Case in point, let's start off with an indictment. Whether it's at the state level or at the federal level, it still goes before a grand jury, okay? So let's just start off here. I just want to show this real quick. Like I said, literally, she dropped the charges because a Rico. Y'all can see this is under that video that I dropped yesterday. Now, again, you can assume all you want, but to say that's why a case is dropped, no. Case in point, before I move into the definition of an indictment or how it goes, let's think about Lil Boosie. Lil Boosie literally was going to court to sign a plea deal, right, for his state case. They dropped it that right then and there. As he's leaving, the feds are there to get him. When you read through his paperwork, the only people who knew, not even his lawyer, was the state prosecution office knowing that the feds was coming to get him. That's why they dropped the case. Now, if a state attorney comes out and say, oh, I dropped the case because the federal government is going to pick it up, I will believe it. Because again, they are, guess what? Part of the prosecution team, law enforcement, witness, informant, only people who knows. And this is why I say this for those who may not understand where I'm going with it. If you do just a Google, look, I just Google, who knows about indictments before the public? Anybody and everybody. You don't need a lot of comprehension to know this, right? It says, by law, a federal indictment can only be brought, or in technical terms, returned by a grand jury, which is a body of 16 to 23 citizens chosen from the community. The grand jury hears evidence and testimony from witnesses presented by the prosecution. It has the power to ask questions and subpoena witnesses and documents on its own. Okay? Now, I'll go one better for you for state cases. The state attorney can bring a complaint or accusation. However, still, to get an indictment, it has to go before the grand jury, period. let me give y'all examples, because y'all know it's each one teach one over here. I'm going to give y'all examples to go review and research yourself. Look into Texas cases. Case in point, look into Patrick Clark, the accused murderer of Takeoff. He first has, guess what? A complaint. That's what he got arrested off of, the complaint. Months later, guess what? He is now officially indicted, meaning the grand jury came back with it, okay? Another case in Texas you can look at is little Cameron Joshua, who also had a complaint, then indicted, okay? And I'm using Texas because it's easy accessible to anybody, so look at those cases. Look at the accused murderer of Snooty Wild, same thing, complaint, then indictment. Look at, case in point, Lil Durk, King Von, Bezul, Hella Bands. They were accused. An accusation was filed. However, they were not indicted. Another thing, Young Thug. I showed this on my video a couple days ago. He was not indicted on one of the charges. It was never presented to the grand jury. So again, that is who sends an indictment. If you are not part of the grand jury, you're not a part of the prosecution, you're not a witness, you're not an informant, and you're not law enforcement, how do you know that a Rico indictment is coming? At the end of the day, those are the only people to do it. You cannot say, oh, I did time, that's why I know. You still will not know. You can assume because possibly, guess what? You got picked up on an indictment that way. That doesn't mean that's going to happen. You could just say, in my opinion, I've seen cases where they do it, not saying they don't, but where they do it and it could be happening. But to say an indictment or a Rico is coming makes me look at you crazy. Now, for those who come at me and say, I'm the police, when you predicting Ricos and indictments, that's definitely police shit, okay? Because I don't even know. You can ask me, like I said, in my comments, they ask me all the time. I don't know. I can only tell you this case is dropped. Now, when you get into like gun charges, okay, it's definitely a higher possibility the feds may come get you on a multiple gun charge. I still can't say it's going to happen. It's multiple people that entertainers I know that it didn't happen to. It's some I do know it happened to. But again, people, we're going to have to start using our brains. Now, for those who that like to read, if you go over to the New York Times, they literally break down, here's how indictments work in the United States legal system. Literally, you can probably put it into YouTube, okay, too. But I felt this was definitely easy to comprehend on this article. They broke it down real well. Now, one thing that you may not know, and some of you may know, but I'm going to explain it to you because this video is the purpose of education, okay? Now, this is how it goes. The defense is not a part of the grand jury proceedings, okay? The judge is not even there. It's literally the grand jury, the prosecution, the witnesses, and informants. That's it. Okay. If for some reason your lawyer is great and know people that may get wind, because again, it's still part of the legal system though. Okay. Get wind that something is coming. They can sit in the hallway. They can probably ask around, but they can't go inside of the grand jury proceedings. Okay. So let's just make that clear. Now, this and boom, here you go. If you look at the second paragraph, okay, when a person is indicted in a criminal court in the United States, it means that a grand jury composed of residents chosen at random believe there were enough evidence to charge that person with a crime. Such panels, generally convened by judges at the request of prosecutors, meet for weeks and can hear evidence in a variety of cases. The judge is not present during grand jury proceedings after the jurors are chosen, and jurors are able to ask witnesses questions. So to sum that up, basically, it's a trial by your peers, basically. Just hearing by your peers. However, I don't want to confuse y'all, but that's basically what's going on in a grand jury. Okay. Now, I would say this. See what it says next. Like I said, this is an easy one to do. Unlike a criminal trial where a jury has to reach a unanimous verdict, a grand jury can issue an indictment with a simple majority. Okay. They hear evidence, testimony only from prosecutors and the witnesses that they choose to present. So again, defense don't send no witnesses, okay? They don't have that opportunity at the grand jury. This is why, again, my motto is the only people who know of an indictment before it's unsealed to the public, and normally it's not unsealed until the arrests have been made, or at least majority of the people on the indictment, because the reason why they keep it under seal is to prevent, and I'm gonna leave that in there because I don't feel like editing it, prevent people from leaving and running. That's why a lot of these footages, people be looking surprised because they don't know when it's coming. That's the point of it. Okay. So I say this, people, truth team, everybody else, y'all just go with what you want. This is for my actual truth team members. Listen, no one can predict an indictment of any kind, including a Rico. If someone does have inside knowledge of a indictment or a RICO that's coming, I will look at them sideways. You know why? Because they're probably working for the police. Because again, I'm gonna say one more time in closing, the police, law enforcement, okay, the state attorney's office or federal prosecution's office, okay, the witnesses that's being called, that's getting subpoenaed to come, and guess what? Informants. That's it. And I say informants because half the time the informants are probably some of the witnesses that's at the grand jury. Case in point, informants testify at grand juries all the time. Regular witnesses are the one we see at trial to seal their identities, because guess what? You don't even get to see who's all on the grand jury. You may see some, but they can have it where you don't even see who's on it. So again, y'all, appreciate y'all time. I had to just go ahead and clear this up. I am live tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend to pull up on your girl Mickey Truth. And as always, go over to MickeyTruth.com and get you some merch, because you know your girl will stay with that work. So until next time, and I'm trying to talk fast and get up off here. Holla!